So for step 11, attaching the motor mount. Well, we'll be grabbing our motor, which is the sport tune that the kit comes with. We've got our motor plate, and then we have our motor mount. Now, this mount, it's showing you where to put the screws, and you can see right here the placement. But we are changing this out for the aluminum motor mount, for one, and two, because we're using the high-speed gear set, we have to look at this, not this, as the instructions to placing the mount. So I will set this all up, we'll take a look, and we'll see what the differences are. So first off, let's get the rubber tubing off the motor. I just grab some pliers, grab it tight, pull, and off it comes. So that's easy. And then we've got the motor plate, and the motor plate came with the aluminum motor mount, and you can see that the holes need to be aligned properly, so you know that that's where you're going to be screwing in, so you know that those need to be in line with the motor itself. So if we push that on and line it up, there we go. There is the motor mount, or the motor plate, in line with the holes that we need. Now we need to put the motor mount on. Now this is where it gets interesting, because you can see that on the regular motor mount, it's showing you that the two screws go in line with the 22 tooth pinion, which if we were just replacing this with the aluminum motor mount and we weren't doing anything else, we would use the 22 and go across. And notice that it's slightly different because it needs to be turned around if we were using this, because you can kind of put it on either way, but we know that it would have been using the 22 tooth. Now, here's where the change comes in. Because we're using this aluminum motor mount, you can see that it says E, 22 tooth, which is almost the equivalent of the 20 tooth. So using this high-speed gear set, when we're putting the motor mount on to the motor, we need to go by what it says here. So if E is the equivalent of the 20 tooth, then we know that with this one, and I don't know if you can, yeah, it's the numbering system's different on this aluminum motor mount. But if we know that E is across, you can see there's two holes at the top and then two at the sides. So two at the top, two at the sides. So I'll be putting it in to where it actually says 22, which is interesting because on the plastic one it will show 20. But we're going to put this into here as 22. So these two screws are actually going to sit just like that on the motor. Now we're going to test this out on the next step anyway, but for the most part, if we were to do that, we're going to put those two there and there, so we can screw this in. And you see how it's kind of, depending on the alignment, the motor itself is off center. So I'm just going to screw this in a bit more. There we go. Nice and tight. So the motor mount is in place, but we're going to do a test in this next step. So we'll move on to step 12 and get the placement correct so that we can make sure that the pinion actually is meshing properly with the new spur gear.